From developer Micros and publisher Matchbox, yes, the same Matchbox brand as those toy cars, comes Pyramids of Ra, a 1993 puzzle game release for the Nintendo Game Boy. In Pyramids of Ra, you control a little ball, and your goal is to land on each and every tile before making your way back to the starting tile. However, as you progress, the tiles you land on will shatter, making your trips one way. So you have to plan your paths accordingly and carefully if you're to make it back to the starting point intact, otherwise you'll drop to the abyss below and start all over again. Clear the screen of tiles while making it back safely and you'll move on to the next room, which varies depending on your overall performance as determined by your energy level. As you progress in the level, your energy will slowly but surely build up, and the faster you clear tiles with the fewest attempts, the more energy you'll build up. Likewise, the slower you clear tiles as well as the more tries you attempt a level, the lower your chances of a high energy output. And by the way, this meter underneath determines how much time you have to make a move before you're automatically bounced off the current tile, so you have to move quickly. The most you could get per screen is 100, which is always the ideal goal, because it will allow you to skip that many rooms. Pyramids of Ra boasts an alleged 24,000 plus puzzles for you to solve, and as you progress further in the game, additional gimmicks are introduced to the mix, such as tiles that take multiple hits to clear, tiles that propel you elsewhere on the board, moving tiles that you have to hop along or else you die, scarabs that will impede your progress and kill you, mystery tiles that are a mystery, and other obstacles preventing you from surviving the challenge within these pyramids here. Pyramids of Ra has a password system where you can input a password to continue your progress at a later time. Passwords are usually attained when you start a new room, or can be seen on the pause screen, which is nice because there are plenty of levels to go through, and it's almost never the same game twice, and let's be honest, you're never going through 24,000 levels in one sitting, it's just not happening. Control is done mainly with the D-pad, and it works well enough for the simple movement that you perform in this game. You can tap the direction for a simple single tile movement, or you could hold the direction down to move in a certain path for multiple tiles. If you start a new game, a little tutorial will show you how to play the game and show you how each of the tiles work. It's entirely skippable, but regardless, an invaluable resource if you want to know the basics of the game. Pyramids of Ra is a puzzle game that does require a bit of planning and forethought. Sometimes you'll need to study a layout and visualize the right path while taking into account the various gimmicks and one-wayness of your movement. Here's a helpful tip. When a level begins, take a moment to plan your movement before forging ahead. While on the starting tile, you're not under threat of being bounced off due to time limit, so you can just take your time, plan ahead, and move when you're ready. You do have an infinite number of tries, but the more tries used on a level, the lower your score and the less further you advance in the game. Pyramids of Ra sports some fairly basic visuals, but it's usually enough for a game of this sort, and the scaling of the bouncing ball to its credit is rather smooth. I'm playing this on a Game Boy player which cheats and exposes the gimmick tiles with a different color, but on a plain monochrome display the tiles are just slightly darker shades and still distinguishable. I do appreciate the attempt at digitized imagery that pops up every so often. They look alright. On the audio front, it's fine for the most part, some minimal sound effects to go along with the limited number of musical cues included in the game. You can choose to play the game with music or sounds alone, both, or none. The last one being redundant because you have volume control on your Game Boy or a mute button on your remote control that could get the job done much easily. Still, it's serviceable sound and the tunes themselves aren't too bad, even if they do overstay their welcome after several dozen levels or so. Overall, Pyramids of Ra is a fine little puzzle game on the Game Boy. Probably not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but for what it does well enough. It's the classic easy to learn, difficult to master sort of thing that seems cliche, but it works, and hey, it's something different from all those block puzzle things. So, yeah, fun times.